Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, you are going to learn the new AitekCAM. The new interface is much more powerful, but the basics remain the same as the old CAM. The biggest change is that the machine table preview and all the vacuums are now in the CAM. You can now create new projects and save your current project. Let's make a new project. Projects keep track of your cuts and vacuums, and we are going to learn about these later on. When you create a new project, you need to specify what table you will be working on. Tables are used only as reference background, they will not be editable in the CAM. Select a table, and press the Choose Table button to load the selected table. You can import new tables from DXF files with the Import Table button. It's not possible to select different post-processors. The post-processor can be also selected while saving the G-code. The post-processor, it's a file containing the information to translate the cuts created with a CAM to a G-code the CNC machine can read. There are two different post-processors that you must know about: the exact path mode and the best speed mode. Best speed mode is good for sync cutout, because the machine needs to keep a constant speed to achieve good finishing on the corners. The exact path mode is used when the machine needs to work sharp corners. For example, an island, or a kitchen top with two polished sides. This mode will respect the G-code positions even if it has to come to a complete stop. This will allow the machining of sharp corners. For this tutorial, let's leave everything as default, and confirm this page. Before starting setting up our job, let's have a look at the tools in the Tool Manager. There are some new type of tools, the finger bit, and the groove bit. Finger bits are like profiling tools, but they also have an option to work by step. Since oscillation and step cutting cannot work together, if you write a step depth, the oscillation parameters will be unavailable. Delete the step depth to enable the oscillation again. The groove bits are a new type of tools. They have a start and end height. This allows them to work on lines with a slope. Groove bits will be available to set only on lines. This type of tools is set on the top of the vacuums, but they work on top of the stone, according to the stone thickness specified. You can also specify the Z removal, which is like removal but applied on the slope. Each next tool will have a smaller removal, until the last tool with zero removal. You can now clone a tool, making an exact copy of it, so that similar tools are faster to set up. I will add one more groove bit in this manner. Once it's created, I can move it where I want with the arrows. Tools are loaded from and saving a TBL file. You should load your tools from the CNC machine TBL file. I will head over to Option, Preference, to show you a new cool feature of the CAM. Most options are the same as the old CAM. The new feature is activated from here. The sync of the tool file. With this option enabled, the tool's parameters are always synced with the tool file. This means, the weights the CNC apply on the tools will be automatically read by the CAM. When you enable sync, if you want to load the tools from the TBL file, click Yes. If you want to write the current CAM tool database in the TBL file, click No. Let's close this, and start working on a DXF. From the File menu, import the DXF files to work on. For this tutorial I made a simple DXF of a kitchen top. First let's get used to the drawing space. By scrolling the mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out. To pan view, press down the scroll wheel and move your mouse, just like you do in DraftSight. By clicking with the left mouse button, you can select items. Press Escape to deselect everything. By left-clicking and dragging your mouse, you can make a selection box. The green box from right to left will select everything that crosses the box. The blue box from left to right will select only items completely within the box. Hold Shift on your keyboard and left-click, or use the boxes to deselect items. Let's select everything. Then right-click and free move. The items selected are now moving around with the mouse. I will click to place my kitchen top on the table. Now let's place the vacuums. Click on the vacuum tag. In the vacuum tag, the DXF shape becomes gray and is not possible to select it. Click twice to get a vacuum. Move the mouse over the drawing space, and the vacuum will be following your mouse. To place the vacuum, simply left-click. Press Escape or right-click to stop placing this vacuum. The vacuum has positioning pins. It has to be placed more accurately. Select it and zoom in. Right-click and auto move. Specify a dimension and move towards the line until you touch it. Do the same thing for the other pin. Now place the other vacuums. To add one or more vacuums, draw a DXF for it, and put it in the vacuum folder, like the other vacuums. After a restart, it will appear in the vacuum list. The origin point of the vacuum DXF will be where the machine will move the laser pointer for that vacuum. You have noticed the numbers that appear as I put down the vacuums. The numbers show the order the machine is going to show you the vacuum positions. You can reorder the vacuums by clicking on the numbers in a new order. If you made a mistake, you can start over by going to the Project tab and then Vacuum tab again. When done, export the vacuum G-code. When you play the G-code on the machine is going to show you one by one where to position the vacuums. Go back to the Project tab. The vacuums are now gray and impossible to select. Before setting up the cuts, let's fix the imported design. The first problem is the kitchen contour is a single item. I only want to work on the front side. So I select the kitchen contour. Then click twice on the bottom line. Right-click and remove from block. This will separate the line from the rest of the contour block. Now let's fix the sink. The problem here is that the sink doesn't have a point to start from. So let's create one. In the same way as before, select the bottom line of the sink. But this time choose divide in half. Now select the sink, right-click, and move start point. Move the start point to the middle, so that the tools have space to make an entrance and exit move. One last thing to fix, the groove lines. Two of them are in the wrong direction, select both, right-click and switch direction. Now let's set the side to work on. Click on the sink, and choose G41, left compensation. Click on the front line, and choose G42, right compensation. The red arrow shows you the side the tools are going to be working on. Now I can create a cut on this line, and add the tools that needs to work on it. To add tools on this line, right-click and create cut. Tools are divide in type. Choose the type you are looking for from the list. Then simply select the tools that need to work from your tools list on the left, and move them in the list on the right. You can use the Shift to select a group of tools, and move them all together. Confirm when you are done. Always remember to check that you are working on the correct side of your design. Entry and exit move radius must be greater than your biggest tool radius. Always check that the interests are inside the machine limit. If you included entry and exit moves in your design, you can disable the ones the CAM calculates with the check over here. Now let's set up the tools on the sink. Remember, the order you put the tools in the list on the right will be the order the machine will use them. Starting from the drill, then the finger bit. Always place the finger bit after the drill. This is because the drill and finger bit must plunge in the same position. Then add a water slope to calibrate the surface. And for last the profiling to finish the edge. If you mess the order, you can always move the tools with the arrows on the right. Confirm to save. Now let's set the tap holes. Notice that the circles representing the tap holes are in pink. This means that the drill that you place on them will drill in the center of the circle. All circles when imported will be pink, and the only tools you can place on them are drills. I created a round sink over here, which needs to be profiled. But since it's impossible to set profiling tools on it, it has to be changed back to a block. You can select the circle, right-click, and change hole in block. The circle will be black again, and I can now place profiling tools on it. Once the hole is changed, it cannot be changed back. I will now delete this round sink. I will select all of the tap holes at once, create cut and place the drill on them. Last I will set the groove bits on the groove lines. Selecting all the lines at once will tell the machine to work all of them in succession for each tool, avoiding changing tools too many times. You can also change the order the lines are worked by moving them on this list. Confirm. Now on the left you can see a list of your cuts. It's possible to change the order and modify your cuts. I'm going to put the tap holes for first and the sink as second. To work with less tool change, I'm going to have the profiling tools all in the same cut. I will edit the sink and delete the profiling tools from here. I'm going to delete the front line cut. Then I select the sink and the front line and set the profiling tool on both. Move it up a notch, and it's done. Now that my job is complete, I can save the G code. This is all for this lesson.